through when the growth look good on you. Best believe they wanna screw now. I've been trying to climb, devil threw me in the dark. Baby, don't be insecure, you can still go make a mark like blow. Could never let them drain my soul now. Blow. Table turning like doorknobs, wow. Blow. I think I'm about to set sail. I'm a walking, living legend, walking with my chest out. Life keeps dealing me cards, I keep fitting in.
What's happening, people? What is happening? It's G. We are back in the building. Guys, please make sure you are smashing the like button and subscribing to the damn channel. So we're here for the match reaction. Liverpool 3, Sheffield United 1 up at Anfield. Liverpool now move back to the top of the Premier League after both Arsenal and Manchester City, of course, got their victories during the week. So, crazy game. No, you know, that's a lie. It was crazy at one point. And of course, we saw a magnificent goal from Alexis McAllister as well. That kind of really put not the nail in the coffin. That was more Gakpo's goal when he came off the bench to score. But that really hit Sheffield United hard, because really up until then, I felt like Sheffield United were actually defending really well in that low block. And Liverpool couldn't really break it down. Liverpool could not really break it down, ran out of a lot of ideas. It seemed to me anyway that, you know, we just weren't really moving the ball around quick enough. We weren't really doing much in the way of, you know, trying to find that space, you know, in order for us to get the goal and stuff like that. It just seemed like ideas were just running out. We're passing the ball around slowly. We're knocking it about. You think in parts of that game, it felt like we thought we were 6-1 up. Like 6-0 up already, and it's like, yeah, like, just knock the ball around. You know, we got time. Yeah, the team that we're playing is shit, and blah blah blah. And that was so far from the truth. Do you know what I mean? In the game in itself, Sheffield United, they came up with their game plan, and you know, it's of course down to Liverpool. And you know, when I talk about Liverpool's games and stuff like that, of course, not every game you're gonna play this magnificent football. I mean, I haven't really seen it this season at all, really, from Liverpool, but it's not going to be a thing where you're playing like that anyway. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's not even the problem, so to speak. I just think that for me, it just seems to be, it's more or less the same. Like, our games are so similar. Like, this game reminded me of like 10 other games we've had this season. So not necessarily a problem, because you come out of it with a 3-1 victory. So the reality is, if at the end you're winning most of these kind of games, it's like, okay, fair enough, you're able to get the victory. But then at the same time, watching these games, and really, it's probably more my fault than anything, because I should know come the end of these games, this is what Liverpool are going to do, is they're going to run out comfortable winners in the end, because the other team just can't really keep up what they've been doing for the majority of the game. And what Liverpool have over more or less every other team, bar maybe Manchester City and Arsenal, is they've got better quality in most areas, if not all areas of the pitch. So where we've got that over other teams, like I always keep saying, quality will always tell. It will always tell at the end of it. Well, let me not say always. It will more often than not tell, you know, over a period of time, kind of thing. And if you're doing it by percentages or law of averages, it's going to be in your favor regardless. And it's been in Liverpool's favor. When you've got quality players on the pitch, it's just going to happen over a period of time. It's only going to be the odd 1 or 2 times where it doesn't really come off. Of course, we've seen those games where they haven't come off for Liverpool. But listen, we got the victory anyways in the end. We'll take a look actually at the stats of the game for you guys, so you guys can see what we were kind of doing in the game. Let's just expand that a bit. Scroll down. Cool. So obviously, hopefully you guys can see this on your screens. So yeah. Of course, listen, look at the bloody percentage stats. You know, we're absolutely dwarfed that 83 to 17%. Expected goals, of course, we had 29 shots. Another game where we're having over 25 shots in the game. Only 9 on target with 4 big chances, 3 of them missed. Sheffield United had 5 shots in the entire game, but 3 on target. So better conversion rate, I guess. Nearly had 1 big chance, and they missed another big chance in the game. They only made 80 accurate passes. That's crazy, considering Liverpool made 708. And that goes back to what I mentioned about the way that we played. It was just sideways, back, forth, doing nothing. And listen, again, I've watched. Listen, I'm a big Barcelona fan, so I've watched Pep Guardiola in that prime, in that era where when Barcelona used to play, it was that kind of style where it was just at times it would be methodical and stuff like that. I think the difference is that was their game, whereas this isn't Liverpool's game. Liverpool's game is fast, direct, counter-attacking kind of football, whereas that Barcelona team wasn't necessarily that. It was pass, pass, pass. Players are moving in so many different spaces that you haven't even tracked this runner who he moved into that space to your off for your right hand side, and then all of a sudden there's a guy on the left hand side, but that guy who was on the right hand side has now moved into another position. All the while, the guy over here in front of you still got the ball. Like, too much is usually going on. With Liverpool, it's not too much is going on. It's just chaotic. It's quite basic. It's get the ball forward as quickly as possible. At times when we do play that passing football, it almost does look like we don't really have a plan for it. It's just more just try and keep the ball. We're professional football players. Let's just keep the ball. And that's how I see Liverpool in terms of the way that we play at this current moment in time. But yeah, of course. So when we see games like this, where it's 708 passes, I can imagine. I can totally imagine. And of course, Sheffield United they're not gonna be as good in that kind of area. 6 fouls to 9. We had 13 corners to their 1. Yeah, look, this is all the other kind of stats we kind of know from the game. 214 passes in our own half. Like, it's just, how many 38 accurate long balls from Liverpool, 9 accurate crosses, 54 touches in an opposition box. They had only 8. It's crazy because, again, this is what I'm saying about Liverpool's style of play. They only had 8 touches in the box, but they looked like I wouldn't even say the word threatening is even the right word, but they were getting into dangerous areas. And this is a team who are only getting in the box 8 times. Now, if you get a team who can double that, for example, what does that look like then? Do you know what I mean? And I think, again, look, the season is the season. We won the game 3-1, so it really doesn't matter. But I feel like when the league is so tight like this, for me, it's always going to be about small margins. It's always about this. It's not like we're winning the league by like 10 points. I promise you, if we was winning the league by 10 points, these match reactions would be like quick 5-minute ones. Just I might even do a 1-minute match reaction because there wouldn't even be a point, because they'd be like, yeah, we won 3-1. Yeah, we did this, we did that, blah, blah, blah. But when the league is so tight, these small margins, bro, I promise you, Liverpool have lost the league by 1 point twice. I promise you these things will matter in the long run. So when I am talking about this, don't take it that I'm trying to be negative in that kind of way. It is just more about seeing these little things, and it's been happening the entirety of the season. So I feel like that's when we then start moaning in other games that we don't win. Oh, refereeing decision, and oh, this should have happened, and oh, this. It's like, yeah, these things have always been happening. But the problem is, well, not the problem, but the good thing about it is that we get away with it because we can score 3 or 4 goals later on in the game. But when we can't do that, we try to find an excuse, and that's what probably, I guess, what bugs me, more about the fan base. But like I said, not about being negative because we won the game 3-1. Fantastic. We're back to the top of the league. But when you look at some of these things, it's all so similar. Like, you really could easily just copy and paste most of this, from other games and things like that. So, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. We'll stop sharing that one. But yeah, like I said, man, I felt there was a couple of good performances in there. Most notably for me, man of the match, I think it was Diaz. I thought Diaz was lively. He was really good. He was trying his best to try and get Liverpool playing in those forward areas. His work rate really, really good, especially on that side. He was just trying to make things happen when we weren't really trying to make things happen. That's why I really, really liked, his performance on that left-hand side. It was kind of like a menace, if I'm being totally honest with you. And of course, when the game kind of changed, and this is how we weren't really playing that well, the game then kind of changes when we make those substitutions. Andrew Robertson comes on, Harvey Elliott comes on. We were lacking so much intensity that when Robbo comes on with his usual just level of intensity, you just know it sticks out like a sore thumb. Like, it's just so obvious kind of thing. And because we're lacking it in tenfold times when he comes on and he does it and we're not lacking it, you notice it. Why? Because you're just like, bro, calm down. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we're already like, he just blends into kind of either what's going on or it's not needed at that moment in time. But in this game, Jesus Christ, man, it was really, really needed. So Yeah, and obviously, of course, McAllister, brilliant strike. Keeps up his good form as well. Yeah, he's been in a good reign of form in this number 8 position, man. Like I keep saying, and I'll keep saying it every single week, they has a good performance. This is what happens when you play someone in their position. This is what happens. This is what could happen, shall I say? Because it doesn't always happen with every player, of course. It's hard to do that, but these are the things that can happen when you just play someone in their rightful position, man. You know what I mean? Like you get these good performance, and to be honest, I thought that he was okay. Like he wasn't my best player, him personally. I thought he was all right. He was one of the reasons, though. I felt that Liverpool were just keeping the ball ticking and not really doing anything, though, especially in that midfield area. But not like that's a fault of his, just more that he was a part of that, and he was the main part in that midfield because he's the only real one. At times, yes, trying to thread the ball, so to speak, but then at times slowing things down when they didn't need to be slowed down, passing sideways when it didn't need to be passed sideways, passing backwards when it didn't need to be passed back, like little things. And again, wasn't just him; it was the entirety of the midfield. But I just felt he was the main one in that. But he was our best midfielder. But then that's not really saying much for the other guys, who were in there. But yeah, listen, calm performance from him. Got himself another goal, so the GA guys will be absolutely loving it, man. Let's get to our match ratings. Cool. See if you guys can obviously see that up there. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we got Kelleher obviously in goal. Was unlucky with the goal. Maybe could he have done better? I'm just trying to think. Deflection off Bradley. Nah, not really, to be honest. Made good saves in the first half. Yeah, I'll give him a 7. But it was like a calm kind of performance from him. He didn't have much to do, but the little he did do. In fact, no, I'll give him because he conceded, man. He concede when it's that kind of situation. Nah, I'll give him a 7.5. Give him a 7.5. Bradley, yeah, obviously scored their own goal. Whether it was an accident, well, obviously it's an accident kind of thing. Positioning was all wrong in that moment. It wasn't necessarily his fault, so to speak, I would say. But ultimately, of course, if you do get that own goal, it's going to come down to you, I guess, kind of thing. So, yeah, he had a decent performance though. He was playing pretty well, getting up and down the wing. If I'm being totally honest with you, I don't feel like defensively he had too much of an issue. I think I'll give Bradley. I'll give him like a 7, to be honest. Yeah, I think I'll give him like a 7. I think I'll give him a 7. Let's take a look here. Who's the next one? Let's go over to Gomez instead. Let's go over to Joe Gomez. So Gomez. Yeah, Gomez is a funny one, man. Did I think he played well in the game? I thought he was okay, bit meaty, if I'm being 100% honest with you. Was at fault for the goal, in my personal opinion. Absolutely poor for it. Went out there to do what? I have no idea. Was kind of useless. We was probably better off not even having him there in that position. And I think with Gomez as well, one thing that bugs me the most about him in every game that I've seen him play is the fact that he takes shot like he is Gerrard, like he is KDB. Like he's one of these kind of players that you're like, no, trust me, from long range, like he's dope. Like whether that's instruction, if it is, then that's a fault of Klopp. But if it will be some type of instruction kind of thing. But it will also come down to things like, just understand if you feel like it's the time to take a shot, take a shot. I'm just like, you're one of the worst shooters in the team. So doing it so often, I get it. Sometimes you just think you can maybe play yourself into that. But bro, I don't need you constantly doing it. You waste possession, you give possession back to the opposition, and it's just like, what was the point in that? Half the time. But yeah, I mean, inverted, absolutely fine. I felt in the game. In terms of his positioning in the game, I actually liked it. For the majority of the game, it's just more when he's on the ball. You can see how uncomfortable he is trying to dribble. You can see, of course, he doesn't really offer us that kind of threat down that side. What Joe Gomez is good at, though, and why I'll always have him in the team and why he should have been in the team, or sorry, why he's been in the team throughout this time, is that he offers you a level of consistency. It's not good. It's not fantastic either way. Not fantastic defensively. He's not fantastic going forward, but he offers you that consistency in that position where you're like, yeah, he's calm in this position. You know what I mean? Like, you know, he'll have 1 or 2 games maybe where he might lock up a defender, or he might, I don't know, help to get an assist or whatever, but it's never going to be a consistent thing. It's more, in this game, he's just going to be solid. And when you can trust someone to just be solid in games, that's more, that'll be worth it a lot more to a lot more people. So yeah, I think that's how I look at Joe Gomez over this entire period of time. The consistent form he's shown, really, really good. But in today's game, or tonight's game, should I say, yeah, I'll probably give him a 6.5, to be honest. Yeah, don't really think it was all that. Kanate, he was calm. Obviously, he had that little injury scare. I don't know. I haven't really seen any news or anything behind it, so I don't know if what it is going to be. I know someone's probably going to say, "Oh, but it wasn't his fault," and yeah, it's never your fault. But when things are always happening to you, whose fault is it? Do you get what I'm trying to say? But look, he was calm in the game. Obviously carried on as well. So, one of those ones. But I think, yeah, it was just calm. So 6.5. Virgil, Virgil again. I thought he was just calm in the game. Yeah, I actually think him and Konate were actually both the same, to be honest with you. Which is kind of crazy, because giving Virgil a 6.5, people might think, what, 6.5? But he played above average. And I think that's kind of how the performance was from everybody, and to be honest with you. So yeah, I'll give him that. McAllister. I'll give him an 8. Felt like, look, second half more so than the first half. First half, I wasn't really impressed with the performance, so to speak, but not just him, everybody. But yeah, first half, I just felt a bit like he was a part of one of the reasons why we were a bit lackluster, lacking that intensity and stuff like that, slow, methodical, just keeping as I mentioned before, with him. Second half was a lot better. Again, it's always like that, improves and stuff like that. Of course, the goal was absolutely magnificent. In fact, I'm actually going to give it a 7.5. Yeah, the goal was really, really good. But yeah, there wasn't really, I wouldn't say, would I say bossed it? Nah, bossed it. He definitely didn't boss the game. I don't think I don't think anybody bossed the game. Just think that he was just a little bit better than our other midfielders who were in there. But he wasn't poor by any stretch of the imagination. I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying he was poor. No. It's just, I don't feel like he was anything other than, yeah, he was very decent, and the goal was really, really good. Second half, he improved, moving the ball a bit quicker, getting the ball forward, into those forward areas, trying to find the space in behind, little things like that, keeping the ball ticking, but doing it quickly, which then moves around Sheffield United a lot more, because when you keep moving the ball slowly, if a team is in a rigid shape, and this isn't just for McAllister, but if a team is in a rigid shape, moving the ball slowly is the stupidest thing that you can ever do. It's like that. That's rule 101. Don't move the ball slowly, because all they're going to do is keep the shape, move to side, move to side, move to side. You have to move the ball quick. You have to move it quick, man. So yeah, but McAllister, I'll give him a 7.5. Who's up next? Zobo. Zabozalai. Thought he was a little bit better in this game than he was in the Brighton game, which is saying something. Yeah, I thought it was like a calm performance from him, to be honest with you. Gravenberch coming back in to the starting lineup. Gravenberch is such a weird one. I'm going to give him a 5.5, to be honest, because I think he was literally just above average in the game. I don't even think, obviously, 5 is obviously still above average, but I just think, like, with him, obviously it's unfortunate that he's had these injuries and stuff like that. So for him to try and play his way into some type of form at this late stage in the season, when we're trying to do this, that, and the third, it's going to be tricky for him. But in this game, I just felt like he just looked all over the gaff. He had some nice touches. He had some good moments every now and again. Overall, though, for me, it looked a little bit lost with Gravenberch at times, both positionally, on the ball, out of possession. Yeah, wasn't really feeling it. Who should we go to next? Mo Salah. Mo Salah got hooked. He got hooked. I know Enzo's smiling right about now. There's a few people out there who are smiling, who are sitting there saying, yo, see, this is what I told you, blah, 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 this, that, and the third, and blah, you know, all of these kind of things. I know I can already see the hate. I can feel the hate through the screen, but he deserved to be hooked. He was not offering man anything. Yeah, in my opinion, anyway, he wasn't offering us anything. I thought he was poor in the game. Yeah. And when again, if you're not scoring, yeah, you have to come off, bro. You know what I mean? Because you're not really even helping out defensively. You're not being intent. Like there's no real intensity. Like there's nothing really going on with you, to be honest with you. So staying on the pitch kind of seems a bit useless. Nunes obviously got that lucky goal. He was okay. Yeah, Nunes was okay, I think. In the game, definitely felt like he was okay. Pressed well in the game. Had a couple of chances. I think 7. Luis Diaz, lively man. He was the one up front that was like, okay, let me try something. Let me even pick up the ball from the midfielders or let me take that ball. Let me go and try and do something myself. Let me try and get the ball moving fast. Let me get my team up the pitch. Let me get my team moving the ball quicker. He was the one for me that was doing that the most in the game and kind of thing. Hence why he was my man of the match for this match. Because that's just how I felt and how I looked at it in that kind of perspective. And yeah, he's been in decent little form as well. So, you know, big up to him. So yeah, that is my match ratings. Keller 7.5, Bradley with a 7, Konate, Van Dijk with a 6.5. In fact, no, I'm going to change that Bradley to a 6.5 actually. So yeah, the entire defense with a 6.5, McAllister 7.5, Zabozalai with a 6.5, Gravenberch with a 5.5 alongside Mo Salah, Darwin Nunes with a 7, and Luis Diaz with an 8. Guys, let me know in the comment section, what do you think? But yes, we move on to our game against United at the weekend. So guys, make sure you stay tuned for that and for that preview that should be coming. I'll probably drop that on the Saturday at some point. I'll drop that on Saturday. Make sure you stay tuned for this. When am I going to drop this? Yeah, make sure you stay tuned actually for this evening. I'm going to drop this video on Friday. So yeah, this evening I will be dropping, or we'll be going live, and we'll be talking about Mo Salah. So it's very interesting, him coming off the back of that game. So yeah, hopefully I'll be joined by a couple of the guys. We'll be talking about they are potentially looking at selling Mohamed Salah. Can you imagine selling Mohamed Salah? Crazy. But we'll be talking about that. And then on Saturday, make sure you stay tuned and man, your notification bells are on, because I will be dropping the first episode of my Crystal Palace save on Football Manager. So make sure that will come out around about 10 p.m. I'll drop it as a live. So just, tune in. We can chop it up. Have a laugh, have a bants, and we can go from there. But guys, that is the match reaction done and dusted for the game. Liverpool 3-1, back to the top of the Premier League. Come on, you Reds.
Oportunidad de hacer un cambio. Juguemos por algo más que una victoria. Juguemos por el futuro de nuestro planeta.
Yes, Darwin! Not a clue what you just said, but I love it! I love